What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So pretty much today the tear down continue on the daily car. So as you guys know, we did a compression test last video, somewhere around 130 140 on all the cylinder, and I wasn't really happy about it. So I decided not to waste money and more time on putting the spark plugs in and testing the motor once again. So hopefully we could just, you know, unplug the harness, tack all the wiring today, you know, things that we need and whatnot for the swap, and then after that we could just pull the motor out. Just marking up everything now, you know, things that I didn't do on the other car, so I was just guessing all the wiring. So I got this alternator, we're gonna need this on the JZ, right? The plug, the colors, you know, the positive. I took out the battery already, you know, the battery is gonna go on the trunk like on my race car. You know, this is the negative. There is actually another negative wire here that goes onto the starter, but this is very tricky in here though, you know, because this wire is actually come attached to this positive one. All right, so it gets a little confusing. You don't know, I mean, when you have everything disconnected, you don't know, you know, if this is going to be a positive wire or not. So you know, so this is going to be the other negative. I still gotta pull this out, cut all the plastic out and pull it out. This is the negative that goes to the starter, and then we got the positive right there that goes into the starter. We're gonna be pulling out soon. And the other wire that we need for the JZ, you know, to crank up, is actually this little guy over here. Let me see. Matter of fact, I just pulled this out. This one over here. This is the signal to your starter, so you need this. You make sure that you put a mark on it. You don't want to lose it up, because once you bring power to this from your turnkey and then whatever push button or whatever, this thing would just, you know, turn your motors on. And once you have power to the ECU, injectors, coils and all that, it would just fire up, you know. So JZs are actually very easy to work on. You know, the swaps are really easy. You know, I learned that through the S13, and also I learned it to this car. So like I said at the beginning, you know, the motor is going to be fully stock, stock turbo, stock injectors, stock ECU. All we need is power and fuel, and then once we got all that, the motor should be ready to go. All right, so here I disconnected a whole bunch of stuff. I wanted to show you guys what it is. So this big plug over here, right, and this little plug over here on the back under the heater hose. So these are pretty much these two plugs over here. This actually, you know, is gonna hooked up onto this plug over here, which is your transmission stub. You see this harness going all the way to the back, and also this one. So you could just put this on the side. I think I'm gonna need this for the automatic transmission on the JZ. I think I'm gonna send out the harness to Wiring Specialty Harness, so they could just do my auto swap harness. I don't know how it's gonna work, but I already spoke to Jory. He said just send the harness, we'll figure it out. On the passenger side of the engine, I would pull out the starter plug. This is the starter crank wire, you know, which is this white one over here. It gets very confusing because this actually goes here and come all the way, you know, to the starter. This is positive to your starter, and then you have this one, this white one actually connects onto this. I kind of figure out that, you know, Subaru put everything together. They kind of find out that the starter wire was way too short, and then they made an extension over here so it could just, you know, go to the starter from this bracket over here. This is gonna be your chassis harness. I think that's from the ECU to your engine harness, right? Which is this two plug up here. I twisted it this one because it was kind of on the way, so this sit like this. So we don't need those. We're gonna have this out of the way. We need this stuff 100%. We need them. That's gonna go onto our swap, and then from there we don't need this. We could just tuck this on the side, right? Pull it up here or some shit. Okay, we just leave it there. What else? This is the engine harness. We don't need. You know what I want? I want to actually get that engine temperature sensor. I don't really know where it is on this car, so I kind of want to figure out if this could just, you know, thread onto the 1JZ. I think this is this is pressure. I'm not really sure. I think this is the oil pressure. My bad, we don't need this. Yeah, like I was saying that, you know, I might be able to, you know, tap that onto the, you know, JZ water neck, and then from there we could just probably get the coolant temperature gauge to work. So since I'm not, you know, running a standalone, I think, I don't know, I'm just, you know, linking ideas, but that might work. So all this stuff, all the engine harness is gonna stay. We're not gonna touch any of that. So on this side we have our air conditioning stuff. This is the high pressure line. If I just release this, I think all that freon is gonna, you know, pop out, and that's kind of toxic. So I did it on the 240. I didn't know, but you know, but it's not worth doing it again because I just did my eyes. Man, it's really hot today. So yeah, so I just did my eyes. I did LASIK on my eyes, so I'm not supposed to be working on here because of the heat and stuff, but I can't just stand at home and do nothing, you know. That's part of me. So we're here doing stuff for the car. So pretty much unplugging everything, you know, separating everything from the chassis and the motor. To be honest, there's not really much in here. I already unplugged it, you know, a lot of stuff, the main stuff, you know. What we're missing is we're gonna have to drain the coolant. That I'm gonna do now, and then after that I'm gonna figure out a way how to release all that freon. Plus, like I said, I just did a LASIK on my eye. I don't really want to have any of that chemical, you know, getting on me. So about the fuse box, I'm not really sure if I want to move it all the way to the back like I did on the race car, because the stock turbo from the JZ is on the bottom. I'm very sure heat management is going to be way different on this car than in that car. Plus, you know, the stock turbo already have a heat shield on top of it, so you know, I don't know. If I move it, it's gonna look a lot cleaner. So we have all this space here. All right, so drain the coolant out. It is very simple. You know, we have this fitting over here. Once you open this fitting, all your coolant should pop out, and then after that we should be able to remove our hoses, which is this one, the top one, and then after that we should be able to pull the bottom one in, and then the radiator should come out. So I think I find out why this motor blew up. Look at the amount of coolant. You're supposed to have at least like 2.5 gallons in here. This is not even a quarter of a gallon. Look at that. That's crazy. So what the thing is, this thing ended up like overheating, you know, because of lack of coolant, and then boom. So just took out these two brackets that hold the radiator in place, the driver's side and the passenger side, and also just loosening up this two bolts that hold the filler neck in place, because we are about to take the radiator out. And also here just unbolted the overflow tank, and dude, we have nothing in here. We have no coolant in here. Unbelievable. Just unplugged the fans, unplug the shroud. It's one clip here and also one clip here. After that you should be able to pull your fans up. That's the 4 bolt that holds the condenser and the radiator in place. When those are out, you should be able to pull the radiator out. Alright, so here I just took out all the freon out of the air conditioning system. This is the high pressure line. Well, you guys can see here, I have like a whole bunch of towels on top of it. And I unbolted this screws, right, that hold this fitting over here. And I just walked away, you know, let all the air goes up. And I just let it sit for about 10 minutes. I walked away. It should be good now. I mean, the towel should hold down everything. I don't see anything here. So it should be good to go. And Now, so we have this one over here already unbolted halfway, so everything should be out. It's very seized up in there though. We're gonna keep all the air conditioning lines because we need it, you know, for our swap. Just be gentle, don't break the fittings or anything. And this one as well. I don't know if there's nothing here. This bolt is very rusty, crusty also. So as simple as that. The condenser is out. We might gonna reuse this. We're gonna wash it, we're gonna clean it, you know. I'm gonna make sure the air flows go through there easily. We don't want to have any air restriction because behind that is gonna be our radiator, you know. So just took out this line over here. This is the line, this is the upper line that goes in to the cabin. The other one, the smaller one, which is the lower line that has like a, I think this is like a pressure valve, you know, for your Freon. So there you have it. We got here all our AC components. Just be gentle with this line because they're all aluminum. You don't want to bend them and create like a kink or something, you know. I mean, unless you don't really need it, but in my case I do. So just took out the heater cord lines. This is the upper line, this is the lower line, you know. So this is the brake booster. We could just put this onto the JZ like so we don't have to buy new hoses. And also this one, the heater one, we could just flip it because the heater cord from the JZ is on this side, and this one will be perfect as well. We could just plug it onto the motor on the back. So we're keeping all this, so we don't have to buy a new one. Like I say, this is cool because this one have like a, this is like a, what is this thing called, it a bleeder valve, so you bleed your car from here. So just disconnected the fuel lines. I actually have this tool that I got online, you know, but it didn't work out because I don't know, maybe it's a different fitting or something. It ended up like got stuck in there. Then I just ended up like cutting it with a set of cutters. So pretty much everything up here is disconnected. All the wiring, the fuel lines, the air conditioner, the heater lines, the AC compressor, the radiator, everything is out. So what I'm gonna do next is go into the car, on both the exhaust, on both the transmission, on both the drive shaft. I forgot something that I have to mention. You know, to take out this transmission, you have to go inside the cabin, take out the center console, and also on both the shifter. Otherwise, because of the linkage of the, you know, of the automatic transmission, it won't allow, you know, the transmission to come out. So we're gonna do all that, and then motor should be out.